Just 2 weeks until the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Jeremy Greene of ESPN Radio Asheville and the Sportsocracy, and we're doing 4-round mock drafts for every team ahead of the Combine. We'll be there live. 3 ESPN radio shows and a ton of YouTube content live from Radio Row right here on YouTube. But in the meantime, I want to give every team a few players to watch in Indiana. We've already started this one for the New England Patriots. First 2 picks off the board, Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears, Jerod Mayo to the Washington Commanders. That is a possible way this could go. I know some New England Patriot fans want me to take Marvin Harrison Jr. The problem is you don't have anybody to throw to him. It's one thing to not have a good quarterback. It's another to not have a competent quarterback because you're putting Jerod Mayo in such a bad situation. I feel like New England has to take a quarterback, even if they have Marvin Harrison graded higher, which I do. He's my number 1 player in this class. I feel like they have to take whichever one is on the board, unless they're just adamant that that kid is not an NFL quarterback. That being said, I am curious what it would look like if they didn't do that. Because what I said was you had to have a competent NFL quarterback. There are a couple of those. I just don't want to take him in the first round. So I'm just going to see what it looks like with New England. Number 3, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. He's the best wide receiver I've ever graded, gives New England the wide receiver threat that they've been lacking forever. And I think that would give you, with him and Demario Douglas, Devontae Parker, and Hunter Henry, that's enough to prop up a less than elite quarterback, which is what you're going to get. We get to number 34. I don't have a quarterback, so I am really stuck taking one. Let's see which ones have fallen. I don't see a path that J.J. McCarthy is on the board here. So, and I'm trying to keep this as realistic as humanly possible. McCarthy's going in the top 12, according to everything I've been told, if for nothing else because he didn't go to Mobile, Alabama, and show us his limitations, like Bo Nix and Michael Penix did. So in the effort of keeping this as realistic as humanly possible, here at number 34, I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr., quarterback out of Washington. I don't love Penix. He has a really long, elongated throwing motion. The medical on him is going to be key, but he does have an absolute rope. You add that to what you get out of the running game with Ramondre Stevenson if they bring back Ezekiel Elliott. I think the offense is in decent enough shape. It's not great. I still need to work on the offensive line, and it would be nice if I had a veteran wide receiver that wasn't Devontae Parker. But that is an interesting build to me. Everybody just seems to be giving New England the third quarterback. But if they waited, got Marvin Harrison, they know they got a franchise player there. That's an interesting build. That leaves me with 2 picks left, 68 and 104. I would really like to add another edge player if I could. One that has a little bit of upside just to add to that defense. That one's hard for me to bypass. I want to look at the offensive lineman just in the effort of fairness. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going to go. Dominic Puny is a guy that I like a lot. Christian Jones won't still be on the board. He was too good. You know what? I'm going to do it. Javon Solomon, edge out of Troy. A lot of people are going to say he's too short, and I agree. But I agree in certain situations. You give him to a Jerod Mayo, you put him on the opposite side of Matthew Judon, and that's part of why I don't know what I'm going to get out of Judon. Coming off the injury, I think he will be back to some facsimile of close to 100%, but I would really like to have a young piece on the opposite side that I knew I could get after quarterbacks. Secondary is pretty solid to me with your first-round pick from last year, Christian Gonzalez, coming back. Jonathan Jones, Sean Wade. I feel like you're okay there. I may not be jumping up and down about what's on the right side, but Christian Gonzalez is so good, I feel like you can contend with number 1 wide receivers. So I'm going to take Javon Solomon, who just absolutely blew up in Mobile to me. I could not stop watching him in the one-on-ones. He's insanely fast. He is going to blow the combine out of the water. I won't be shocked if he runs a sub 4.540 based off the speed that I saw in the tape that I've watched on the backside of that. So that's giving me the quarterback, the wide receiver, the edge. Now I get to pick 104, and I really want to add a piece to the offensive line if at all possible. So I'm going to look at what we have on the board there. And that one's just too good for me to pass up. Cole Strange is, I'll say, fine. I don't love him. I've never loved him. I thought they drafted him too high. On the other side, you got problems. CD So, it's fine, but you played Michael Onwenu on the right side. I think he's going to stay at tackle, just solely because it's so hard if you have to go wide receiver, quarterback in the first 2 rounds. It's going to be so hard to find a guy to play at tackle because this draft is so thin at tackle. So I'm going to take a high upside. You're going to have to wait on him a little bit, but let's be honest. New England has a couple years here, and I think a year down the line, he'll play this year, but coming off a big knee injury. It's Zach Zinter, guard out of Michigan. If it wasn't for the knee injury that he sustained, I fully believe he would have been the 4th interior offensive lineman off the board. That's just a piece that I could pencil in. I've got Onwenu on the right side. I think he's more natural at guard, but he was really good last year. So I feel like those 4 players, that's an interesting build to me. The PFF simulator did not love the Zach Zinter pick because he's hurt. I get it. But even with that, A+ for Marvin Harrison Jr., A+ for Michael Penix, B- for Javon Solomon. PFF doesn't love him as much as I do, but I think they will after the combine. And Zach Zinter got a D+. I think that's dumb. He would have gone in the 2nd round had he not gotten hurt. I got him a full round and a half later. To me, that's an A+ mock draft for the New England Patriots. What do you think of this build not taking a quarterback at number 3? Trying to build this team with the ability to run and playing good defense. You get Marvin Harrison Jr., who I know is going to be elite. You get Michael Penix Jr. to throw the dart with a big arm. Javon Solomon and Zach Zinter. Leave your comments on what you think about this. Do you like the idea of taking a receiver instead of taking a quarterback? And if you just want to call me a big mulleted jackass, I am a Jets fan, so I expect nothing less from Patriots fans. But I did my best to give you your best mock. Follow us on all the social medias for all of our content. We're leaving the Wednesday of the Combine, confusing the Senior Bowl and the Combine. We're headed to Indianapolis. We'll be there from pillar to post, from the first workout to the last, and we'll be able to do it all live here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. In the Sportsocracy, we'll also have 3 live ESPN radio shows live from Radio Row in Indianapolis. I'm Jeremy Greene at ESPN Radio Asheville. This has been the New England Patriots 4-round mock draft. Hit that subscribe button so you can see everything. The draft is a holiday. You got the draft, you got Christmas, we got Draftmas. Follow us to see it all in the Sportsocracy.